Welcome back. As we discussed earlier, the Bureau of Labor Statistics revised job growth down by nearly 1 million in the 12 months leading up to March of this year. Yet, David Rubenstein, co-founder of the Carlyle Group and owner of the Baltimore Orioles, has a pretty positive outlook for the future of the U.S. economy. It is more positive than his outlook for the Orioles, who are currently ranked last in the American League East. I didn't really allude to that during our conversation, the Orioles, I mean. But here, take a listen. How would you assess where the economy is right now?
The economy? The economy is something where it's a $30 trillion economy, $30 trillion annual economy. So it's hard to say where a $30 trillion economy is going to go. Things move it relatively slowly. But I'd say right now, I don't see a recession imminently in front of us. We haven't had a recession for a while. Normally, you have recessions every 7 years. And we really haven't had one. We had a technical recession during COVID, but not a real recession. So I think the economy is always due for a recession when you're going this long without one, but I don't see one on the horizon. Right now, while the jobs numbers are softer than everybody would like, I think inflation is not as bad as it was a couple years ago. It's coming down, still could be a little bit better. But generally, I think the American technology world is so strong. We dominate the world in technology, and that's fueling the economy and fueling the global economy too. And as artificial intelligence becomes more and more powerful, I think it's going to really help fuel American growth even more.
There's push and pull on that, though, with technology and particularly artificial intelligence. I've read analysis of companies that are projecting much higher growth and profitability, but almost zero increase in personnel because of productivity gains they are going to assume from AI. So that makes them wealthier, but it doesn't create more jobs. There's a push and pull there.
When the Industrial Revolution came along in the late 1800s, people said jobs are going to be taken away and people are going to lose their jobs. And yes, there was transition. But anytime something comes along that's new, some people are displaced, unfortunately, and some people get new jobs. And so people may get different jobs. Right now, we have a relatively low unemployment rate, relatively low, a little bit more than 4%, which is not that bad relative to the economy of our size. And we now have more people, more job openings than we have people to fill these jobs. So I think the economy is going to go through a transition. AI will ultimately do what people probably think it will do, which is to change the job mix a bit. But ultimately, you're going to have people trained for AI kind of jobs. And ultimately, over a period of time, I suspect it'll be good for the economy.
So when the naysayers say this is a fundamental shift, it's not like the Industrial Revolution, it's not like any other technology before, because it's all encompassing and because it takes so many human tasks out, you say it's going to be all right?
Well, as one person once said, I think it was Lord Templeton, the most dangerous words in the English language are, this time is different. And so to say this time is different is really dangerous because I don't think it's that different than other things we've had that have changed the economy. Remember, when the internet came along, people said, uh-oh, people are going to lose their jobs now. We won't have the needs for certain things that we had before. The internet has fueled a lot of jobs. Remember, we didn't have, let's take Uber. Uber is possible because of the internet, and that's created a lot of jobs. And so I think it's too difficult for humans to say what's going to happen 5 years, 10 years down the road in the economy as a general rule of thumb. Given where we are today, I'd much rather have our AI position than the AI positions of other countries. Other countries, I think, are really envious of what we've done in AI so far, and we're really at the beginning of the first inning, really, I would say, in AI. We just don't really know yet how it's going to work, but I'd be happy to have the valuations of some of the AI companies in my portfolio because they have done quite well, and I think they're going to continue to do well.
Word association, tariffs.
Tariffs are something that's been around since the beginning of our country. Normally, you have tariffs when you're trying to protect your economy. In our case, our economy is in pretty good shape, but the dilemma we now have is that because the big, beautiful bill was structured in a certain way, it assumes there's going to be a lot of tariff revenue coming in over the next 10 years. I think the latest numbers from the Congressional Budget Office are somewhere between $3 and $4 trillion are going to come in over the next 10 years. So if you were to eliminate the tariffs, and we don't have this revenue, we're going to have much bigger budget deficits. So we've locked ourselves into a position we probably need the tariffs because the budget revenue is necessary. We have a big budget deficit problem, as you know, in this country, and we have now about $37 trillion of total indebtedness, and that's a big problem.
And the Supreme Court's going to have to decide about the legality of these tariffs because they are imposed under authorities that no previous president has claimed, under a 1970s emergency economic law. if the Supreme Court says, wait a minute, you've exceeded your authority, and Congress is the one, and the Constitution is very clear about this, if there are going to be tariffs, they need to go through Congress, Trump could suffer a defeat, and all this could be turned upside down.
Well, I think what happened was they used the 1977 emergency tariff legislation to justify it, but there is other legislation that could have been used and may well be used, and so they may use that other legislation, which does give the president more rights than that 77 legislation. The Supreme Court is a court that doesn't try to make bold decisions and say, we're going to solve all problems in the world when a case comes to us. They try to look at the narrow way that they can decide this case, and they might decide it on narrow grounds. I just don't know. It's going to take a while before it's resolved.